Hello, and a very warm welcome to one and all present here. I am Laksh Mittal, your host for the day, connecting live from India. And I'm enthralled to host you today for today's masterclass brought to you by Requiem. Our vision at Requiem is very simple. It's to onboard a million enthusiastic users to the Web3 revolution. And that is why we bring to you a one-of-a-kind masterclass series transitioning into Web3. The world is heading towards a more connected ecosystem. And as time passes, various different fields and industries are working together to innovate and to bring more and better sustainable results for the community. And that is where Web3 comes to the stand front. Web3 is all about building communities through the power of decentralization, blockchain, and the secret sauce. You. And yes, now this is our time for me, you, and everyone around us to transition into Web3. But before we get started with our today's masterclass, let me give you a sneak peek on what actually Requiem does. Well, Web3 is a new internet and is meant for anyone and everyone who wishes to be a part of a transparent, efficient, and autonomous ecosystem. And this is where basically Requiem steps in. Okay, to keep it simple and in one single line, okay, Requiem connects Web3 professionals to Web3 companies through Web3 events. Nonetheless, we help Web3 companies hire the best passive talent across events through the attendees. Today, we have more than 80 plus companies offering you a plethora of opportunities that could be remote opportunities, internships, or even full time offers. And if you want to avail those, please join in to the Requiem website, log into this particular event, and apply continuously basically. Adding on to that, we're also providing you with NFT minted certificates at the end of the event. So if you're watching this particular event or this particular masterclass from anywhere, let's say YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or LinkedIn, okay, hop on to the Requiem website, okay, log into your profile, connect your wallet, and log into this particular event. After which would be able to mint the NFT certificate for this particular event. With that, let's move ahead to the next section. For today, we have a very a unique team which is coming and working with us today. They help you basically in DeFi projects, okay. And to not go into much detail, okay, I'd like to directly call upon stage Shreya Berry, who is the partnerships and business development manager at Unifarm. So let's welcome Shreya on the screen.
Hi, 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 Laksh. Thank you so much for having me today here.
Right. Hi, Shreya. Can you hear me properly? Am I perfectly audible to you?
Yes, yes, I'm audible to you.
Yes, you are perfectly audible to me. Okay, are you ready to start today's masterclass? Okay,
Absolutely.
awesome. So before we enter into what we're talking about today, okay, certainly let's go, take a step back and understand what you actually do at Unifarm. Plus, let us also explain it to the attendees what actually Unifarm does and how it can be beneficial to them. Okay, so
Right,
let's go with that.
absolutely. So, Unifarm is actually a group taking solution, and it was built for times like the bear market. Although we did not see that a bear market will hit us, so this was just to help projects, get through the Web3 ecosystem. So see, when you're new, when you're just starting out as a project, there are like 100 things that you would possibly need help with, and helping others build while you're building is like the biggest thing that you can do. So we wanted to build ourselves as like a Web3 enabler, and that's why we started Unifarm. And so it's like group staking. So I think a lot of users in Web3 are already into staking, things. And traditional staking usually involves like one token, but group farming and staking, involves like multiple tokens at once. So you actually like farm and stake multiple tokens at once, but you essentially come with just one token. So that's what we do basically. And about me, so I handle like partnerships and business development here at Unifarm. So all the shebang with partners, onboarding tokens, and getting these farms live is something that I do here.
Okay. So I the major words which I could understand here was, Unifarm helps in farming and staking of tokens only, or assets as well. It's only tokens.
No, it's just tokens right now. We wanted to explore more assets, but that is like not like a priority right now. Yeah.
Okay, agree. So basically, Uniform helps in staking and farming of assets. Of tokens,
Okay.
and you're handling currently partnerships and BDA at Uniform, correct?
And
So trying to
marketing also.
understand this,
Yeah.
what is actually staking in Web3? Let's dumb it down a little. What is staking and what is farming in Web3?
So staking is actually, so you might have like tokens in your wallet. Like as a Web3
Yes.
user, people invest in cryptocurrencies, right? So every project has like a token of its own. Mostly people like to go this way. So it might be a governance token. It might be a token that has like additional utility to it. So people usually, when they're associated to communities, they usually like to invest in their tokens, the project they're trying to support, right?
Okay.
And sometimes these tokens are just lying there on your MetaMask wallet, and you're not really making a lot of on it, right? So think of this as it's not a very good example to give, but think of this as putting your money in an
In a
FD.
savings account.
Savings account, no, but you don't get like interest over the savings account. Although now there's a thing now you get like
We
interest
do
over
get
the
3 to 4 paisa. Yeah,
yeah, that's very less, right? So
correct.
tokens you can actually stake them. So on Unifarm also we guarantee like a minimum APY of 36 to 50%. Now we've moved one step ahead and we've made it to 400%. So you actually have those when you have those tokens lying in your wallet, you just come to Unifarm, you stake them. So your tokens get logged for a while, and you start accruing rewards. So that APY or APR is actually like an interest on your holding. So that's
Wow,
basically
I think I should start staking on Uniform now. It's giving me 400% return.
yeah.
Okay. But yeah, there's 30% of tax as well. But okay, we
But
go
that's
ahead.
in India, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definite. I'm in India currently, so I'll have to bear with that. But okay. Okay, so understanding that, let's say I understood what's staking. Okay.
Yeah.
Farming, how does farming comply?
It's similar. So
Okay.
farming, as the word says, that you farm. So staking and farming is actually similar, just has like a little bit of difference here and then. So you usually
It's
call it
basically
like farm.
cultivating, if I may understand in simpler terms.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so understanding that, how did you join Uniform? Like, are you a core member? You were from the beginning, or you just landed there? How has your journey been in Web3? How did you land into Web3?
Okay, so my Web3 journey is pretty interesting. As in, I started my career accidentally in Web3, not exactly Web3, but that's where I started. So this is 5 years back. I actually was like a content person. I wanted to pursue content professionally, and that's where I landed a gig with Blockchain Council. It's a company which
Oh
provides you
yes.
courses in blockchain and
Hmm.
cybersecurity. So I was
Correct.
like a ghostwriter there and worked for like 6 to 8 months, and I was like writing ghost content for them for their blog. And This was me, a beginner who did not know a lot of Web3 and crypto and blockchain in general. And
Correct.
I was supposed to write content on it. So it didn't really interest me a lot because I was not taught about it formally. It was just
Right.
my own understanding of it. And maybe I don't think I started off the right way. So I
Okay.
moved back to Web2 because it didn't make a lot of sense to me. And moving back to Web2, did some content stuff for 3 4 years, and then again I was in content only, and I landed at Oro Pocket. So Oro Pocket is a sister company to Unifarm, and Oro Pocket is actually where you can buy, tokenized assets. So you have
Okay.
gold and silver there on the platform that you can buy and start an AIP, SIP we call it in India. So you can start that on the app. So I was supposed to do content for Oro Pocket, and I did that for about 6 to 8 months. And then the sister product was there. So Uniform was launched last year February, and I joined in July. So it was pretty early only. So you can count me as like one of the oldest team members there.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, I somehow just started doing content for Uniform also. And that's when I started learning more about it. So that's been my journey in terms of Web3. And also, Uniform was like, I mean, this was like an accidental thing only, but I'm very grateful that this happened. Because
Okay.
I bought my first Bitcoin. I bought my first. I saw this wave, this November December wave where Bitcoin hit
Bitcoin
like
as in a whole Bitcoin or a part of it?
no, obviously a part of it. But
Okay.
yeah, I saw like a very I saw all of that period. Now I've witnessed the bear market, so I've seen people talk about it, and now I've witnessed it. So yeah, that's been my journey.
Right. Okay. So from what I understand, what do you mean by content here? Like, are you working like as in video-based content, or just text-based content, or what do you mean by you worked as a content creator, or what do you mean by that?
So this is actually content marketing. So marketing has
Okay.
like a vertical. I mean, it has like a lot of verticals. You have email
Definitely.
marketing, you have influencer marketing, and all of that. And content is like a biggest wing under that, right? So I was heading content in the sense that all of the communications going out, representing the brand itself in terms of content and how to market and position Uniform. I was working on that.
Okay, okay, understood, understood. So today's topic is basically around marketing only. Okay,
Yeah.
so to give a simple understanding from what I have comprehended is that marketing is different what we do or what has been going on in Web two, and it has a drastic change in Web three as well. Okay, with how it has turned around. Okay, what do you think? What are the major changes that has come or that have come while we market anything in Web 2 or in Web 3? So, what's the major difference that you think has come?
There's a lot of difference. You can't compare the two. Web2 traditional marketing, I would say, I would like to put it this way that there you have to deal with calm people. I think calm users. They're not fickle minded. Although they are, they make changes and their choices and all of that. You see, have to deal with that when it comes to marketing. Web3 people are very degen in nature. So marketing happens in that sense. User retention here in Web3 is way more difficult than it was in Web2.
Obviously,
You have,
agreed.
yeah, you have brands in Web2 and people are loyal to it, like they've been associated with those brands since years. And in Web3, you just have people for seconds. They might move to some other community. They will be interested in something else. They're invested in some other
Every day
thing.
there's a new king in the town.
Yeah, so very difficult.
Right. So, see, that is very agreeable because in Web3, somewhere I feel people see more opportunities and more
Yeah.
incentivization
Yes.
because that was not there in Web2. The
Yep.
incentivization concept has basically come around in the past 2 3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
and that has basically what I see. Whoever is giving more benefits, I'll go there. That's the
Yes.
user psychology which I have understood in the marketing sector.
Mm.
Okay, now, but somewhere would you want to agree that partnerships, okay, in some place holds a very higher weightage in Web3 in terms of marketing than it has been in usual. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I am not sure how things happen. Things as in partnerships happen in Web2 because I've not been a part of it. But I do agree that somehow, then again, if I say that users here are difficult, then I think partnerships here are easy.
Yes.
You just go to a Web3 meetup, you meet like 10 people, and you've landed like almost five partnerships, and it's crazy
Yeah.
how people want to build together here and want to do something or the other, and they're up to some crazy technology. It's crazy, and yeah, the key to sustain yourself as a company, I think in Web3 partnerships are very important. Marketing is important, but I think they go hand in hand.
Okay. I guess we have laid the ground for how basically Web3 companies market. Okay, but now I'd give you the stage. Okay, you can basically show your masterclass on how do you think companies usually market in Web3. Okay, and I'll catch you up after that with a list of what all I think I should talk to you about related to marketing in Web3, because I am in here doing the same, and I am still figuring out how to do it better. Okay,
Yeah,
so let's go with that. Shreya, you can start sharing your screen, and we can move ahead.
thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah, so there I go.
Yes.
So, thank you so much again for having me here. Although we've set the background correct for today's session, but I would just want to give it a starter line saying that there's no correct way to market, whether it's Web 2 or Web 3. You just have to find stuff on your own and see what works best for you. So, I'll just get started. So the internet is evolving and we are in the middle of it. And Web3 is poised to revolutionize how we use the web. And the boom of Web3 companies has brought in like new avenues that we never imagined, like Web3 marketing. So, what is it? How is it different from traditional marketing? And other questions that you might have. So, these are some of the questions that I am going to give you answers to today. So, again, I just thanked you guys again. But before starting the masterclass, I would like to welcome you all and also thank you for taking out the time to be here. So let's begin. So I would be covering the following as part of the session today, which is what is Web3 marketing, how Web3 marketing has impacted the space in general and marketing, and how do Web3 companies market, and how you can prepare for Web3 and what's next for Web3. So, what is Web3 marketing? Web3 marketing is more than just website and search engine optimization, which is mostly how people perceive it in the traditional marketing space, Web2 space. And about 80% of digital marketers report using artificial intelligence, machine learning technologies that are driving Web3. And historically, businesses have relied on a mix of advertising, public relations, and direct marketing to create awareness for their products and services. But the advanced user experience capabilities of Web3 marketing allow marketers to dive into a whole new world of innovation in marketing and advertising. So, how marketing happened in Web 1 is that during the Web 1 days, there were only few content creators, and the majority of them were consumers, as in the internet users were consumers. And it consisted of static pages hosted by paid servers and or through internet providers or free web hosting services. So web advertisements were banned in Web 1, and marketers had to rely on collecting emails for email marketing and simply using online messaging to reinforce traditional ads via TV, radio, or print. And then search engine optimization was in its infancy, and SEO tactics were crude. And there was potential for digital marketing, but it was very rudimentary. Then came Web 2, and then marketing in Web 2, gave rise to the digital marketing explosion. So, as the web evolved to be consumer first, data driven, and mobile first, the growth of social media like Facebook and other platforms paid their way into targeted ads. Digital marketing also became performance and analytics oriented, and platforms started collecting data and made it available to marketers to target their advertisements and all. And as a result, brands began to understand their audiences more. And then you had like geo targeted ads and D2C brands coming in with their marketing techniques, interest based advertisement, and influencer marketing as well. So this was like web 2, and then came web 3. So web 3 is just like an improved version of web 2 but in a very different way. So web 2 focused on improving the front end of the internet, and web 3 is just focusing on improving the back end of it. So in web 2 data was collected and then controlled by companies like Facebook, but now in web 3 you have control over your data, and you can decide how to share it with other people, and just use it for advertising in general. And don't like have a lot of hassles in I mean, to be concerned about data in general. You just have to like focus on creating new strategies to acquire and retain customers. And as like web3 is not controlled by private entities. Instead, there's no single entity, and you own your data. So this came like a very big boom. And users have more control over their data, and marketers in turn have more stakeholders to market to and engage with and then retain them. And as the stakeholders expand, marketers have time to invest, and uh, have their resources put into more learning and what customers care about, and building strategies around it. Channels used with web 2 like content marketing and SEO are still the same in web 3, but these have to be used smartly alongside web 3 developments like NFTs and tokens. So this is like a basic overview of what is going on now and what used to happen before. I jump on to the next slide, which is how Web3 has impacted marketing. So data collection and privacy has changed, and this also changes the way how marketers collect and store their data, and this also impacts how marketing is targeted and personalized. Then user experience has improved with Web3 marketing. An improved Web3 user experience, just requires like a rethink on the marketing strategies we've been using in Web 2 for reaching and engaging these customers that are specific to Web 3. And marketing strategies have also been updated. So the impact on Web3 marketing, as in the impact of Web3 marketing, requires marketers to update their strategies. And it's all about building meaningful relationships with your customers and creating partnerships that benefit everyone involved. Web3 marketing, works on the fact that companies have stopped thinking about customers as a number in the database, but instead people are looking for the same thing as you are, and that builds like long term relations. And social media is like the biggest place to start that. So now coming to how Web3 companies market. So firstly, they follow Web3 trends, and because being outdated can be costly. There are a lot of uncertainties, but there are also a lot of developments. When making business decisions, you have to consider the fact the future is here and it's rapidly changing. Like I come from the web 2 generation, and now I have seen web 3 already, and there is web 4, web 5 coming in. So it's rapidly changing. And depending on your brand, you can acquire 3D assets like 3D models or virtual reality stores, which are like very much in the hype right now. And the more you know about the latest web3 trends, the more you'll discover ways to integrate them in your current strategies. Then second comes that they add NFTs to their content creation strategy. I think there is no guidebook or a rule book regarding, content creation or marketing for Web3, but everyone sort of agrees that, it will involve NFTs. Like we saw the BYC hype, and we saw all of that. So NFTs are pieces that, live on blockchain and drive digital scarcity. For brands, they've started creating their own NFTs, and they've used it for purposes like increasing brand awareness and reach, and giving exclusive access to community, and increase ultimately increase the brand loyalty too. And the third point is that they start building meaningful connections with customers over social media. So social media worked in Web 2, and it will continue to be a big part of Web 3, although it has like a lot of major changes. So in Web3, social media users have more control over their data due to decentralization, and building meaningful connections with your customers this early will cement your relationship and with them, and they're also building that trust with you, because it's decentralized and they don't have to worry about their data being stolen. And this is like a very big opportunities for marketers, I believe, because instead of seeing like numbers or data points, they can invest like building lasting relationships that transcend beyond like data. And community building, as like I said, is like the core of Web3. And even before projects are being launched, people actually put in like a lot of effort in building community, and that is very imperative as well, because you never know, your community might just help you like get famous even before you launch. So some products, even the community is so smart that they might just give you like a new business idea. So these connections are like a very important part in terms of Web3 marketing. So fourth point, they use memes as part of their communication strategy. Memes are considered like a universal language on the internet, and the Web3 community are like big fans of it. And memes are approachable, they elicit emotions and have a human feel. They're also like a key to making projects relatable. So we at Unifarm, recently launched like a meme carnival, and this is the second edition of it. And the first time we did it, it went crazy. We had like 8 communities participate in that meme carnival, and the kind of creativity that we saw, coming out of it, it was insane. We had 3D videos, memes that were funny, and it sort of went viral for us, because that's like the biggest kind of success I would say that we've seen in terms of campaigns that we've done run on social media. So I do think this works. And the fifth point is that they create new Web3 KPIs to measure the impact of their efforts. So Web3 actually has prompted a lot of marketers to rethink how they measure growth performance. The key performance indicators applicable to Web3 may not necessarily be applicable to Web3. Web2 may not be applicable to Web3. Some of the metrics you can use for Web3, measuring like the KPIs of it. You can measure the size of community across channels. You can track the activity and engagement, and uh, NFTs that sell out of time, or have like a very high floor price. A steady or consistent increase in NFT price also indicates that your customers believe in the project, and this is also true for like tokens. And most of these metrics are still in their infancy, as much as the other Web3 is, and it is still developing, and it is not fully there yet. And for now, marketers can only focus on metrics that gauge like product and community engagement, as we're still not there. And as Web3 matures, other metrics would likely surface. And how can you prepare for Web3? you can stay up to date with the latest trends. Web3 is sure to bring with it a host of new trends. So keep an eye on these trends such as artificial intelligence and start incorporating them into your marketing strategy. This will help you stay ahead of the curve and keep your software marketing strategy relevant. Um, Second, get acquainted with blockchain. Blockchain technology is likely to play a big role in Web3. If you're not familiar with this technology, this is like the right time to learn. Blockchain is a distributed database that allows for secure, transparent transactions. Use it to power applications and platforms that emerge with Web3. And third is leverage customer insights. So data insights. When it comes to marketing, in the age of Web3, data is key. To make most of your effective decisions, you need to have a good understanding of your buyer data and the ways you can use it to drive marketing decisions. What's next for Web3? So with Web3, the future of marketing has just begun. This new internet era will bring with it like a wave of new opportunities for marketers, whether it's from B2B or B2C or D2C. From protecting your user privacy to leveraging new data sources and tracking marketing campaigns across the digital first buyer journey. That's it for me. Thank you so much for having me here. Open to any questions.
Shreya, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, okay. So definitely that was, what you actually suggested throughout the slides. Somewhere I feel it's out of pure observation and understanding of how Web3 has been running and what your journey has been. Okay, but to ask you simple, thing which I feel to understand is, let's take there are a few parallels in marketing. Okay, there's definitely SEO is there, content is there. Now that influencer marketing has also
Yeah.
rise up to a level where it involves different kinds of strategies as well. Okay, what do you think are the various ways still, okay, which we can use? Basically SEO, content, influencer, what more is there?
Yeah, so content is still the king. It's still the king in Web3 as well. You can use influencers, communities in general. Communities emerged from Web3 only. People from Web2 didn't really focus a lot on communities.
Okay,
SEO practices as usual. It's just that it should be specifically tailored to your brand itself, and
right.
there's not a lot that changes with Web3, as in your practices that you might be doing when you were in Web2 would also prove to be the same. It's just that you have to understand the kind of audience that you're catering to when you are in Web3, because the persona changes, and if you're an NFT project, your audience is different. If you are a metaverse, so your community would be a little different, set of users that you have will be a little different. So these key platforms that we used to use in Web2 remain like the same. It's just that you change the strategies of how you go about them.
Okay, okay. Keeping that in mind, there was one part in your presentation where you mentioned that in Web3 we have to focus more on the back end. Okay,
Yeah.
so from backend, what I understand is user data, user insights. Okay, but
Right.
how to basically use them? Okay, how to use them to leverage or build communities and market properly to build an audience? Okay, how would you like? What would you try to explain it, and what is the process actually that goes over there?
So when I talk about customer insights, so like user insights, they're actually beneficial outside of Web3 as well. You understand which demography or user is coming from, what is he gonna be interested in, and how to track them. So tracking all the Web3 tools, they've like. I'm always surprised. I go to Product Hunt and I see like new tools coming in for Web3. Now you have like tracking, on a whole different level, and metrics like how engaged the user is and how much time he's spending, on the product. If you're a DApp, how frequent the user is, using it. So what I mean by backend is in the sense that um, the kind of technology that we used to see in Web 2 and then what we're seeing in Web 3 is like different in the sense that blockchain has like a list of use cases, and these use cases are like still very early, and we are like very early in this space altogether, and they're gonna increase with time, and with that, innovation is going to come in place. So now it's not just about having like a website and then having a product on it. It's more than that, and having like a lot of stuff happening. So imagine the kind of tech that goes into making a metaverse, right? So
Okay.
that kind of user experience and user interactions with your product is what I mean by the back end stuff.
Okay. Keeping that in mind, there was another point that you mentioned about community building. Okay.
Yeah.
So what my question is, what do you think? Let's take I am a person who wants to build my community from zero to, let's take 1,000 in the within 1 month. Okay. What are three possible hacks I can use to do that?
So biggest hack would be to build a product that people love. So there are thousands of products, Web3 products being built every day. I'm just assuming that it's every day. I might not be right with the statistic because people are crazily building. So number one is like having a product which has like a utility. There was a boom for play to earn games and you play to engage games. Those don't have like a lot of utility for uh, just grabbing the attention of your users or like your community in general, because they will play that game, they will probably engage with it for 6 months, and then probably they'll just get bored and move on.
Right.
So having a good product with a good utility is like the very big, is like a only hack that you can possibly have. Because I see people, just trying to build communities for the sake of it, to maybe just brag it at the space that see we have these many community members or like these many followers on Twitter, and they're actually not real. These are bots. So, if you build a good product, you'll have like people who will be in love with it, and they automatically will become your community members. You don't have to do giveaways, etc., to just get people on board. And second, if you have a good product, you will automatically, I mean, build the community over time. There is going to be word of mouth, people recommending you in other communities, you know, and just wanting their friends to be there and see this is what they're building, and I want you on board. So second is that, and third, I think it happens over time and you have to give it time. Just keep doing your thing, keep building, and it'll automatically be there, and just keep them engaged. So I told you, people from Web3 already, then their attention span is very small. So you have
Right.
to actually get into their minds to understand, where they're coming from and what they intend to do, and just keep them around. They're like a 5-year-old child. You have to grab their attention first before they run away.
Okay. Okay. So with what I understand, okay, it's all about keeping um, the benefit of the user
Yes,
as the stand front to build, or basically the foundation to build on it. Correct.
absolutely.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. With that, like let's go ahead to the questions that we have prepared, so that it gives people a distinct understanding about marketing in Web3. Okay. So let's have the first question on the screen. Okay. So what is the right way to build Web3 communities?
Yeah, I just answered that. But
Okay.
right now,
Yeah.
I think more than focusing on the right way, the space that we're kind of in right now, I think I should talk more about ways you shouldn't build a community.
Okay.
So, the biggest mistakes that you can do while building a community is that first focusing that you would want to build a community first before a product. Second, using black hat tactics to build that, in the sense that you're actually not having organic people, organic community to just share that space with you, but instead you're like trying to just build on numbers, and that's using shillers, maybe bots, etc. You shouldn't do that, because once you get to the stage where you've built like a small community and that's full of bots, any and every marketing effort that you're not going to put after that, it's not going to give you results, and that's when the problem will start, because now you're deep into a lot of stuff, and then there are marketing budgets involved, resources involved, and time, most importantly, involved, and there's no going back. Now you would be stuck in that phase where you can't let go of those people, and you can't do stuff because they're not responding to what you're doing.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, that's it. These are like some of the things that you should be careful before building something.
Okay, okay. I guess that answers perfectly well. Okay, but just to add on to what you might have said, okay, somewhere I feel community building is more related to collaboration. Okay, in
Yeah,
Web3, okay, it's more about building together, and I
yeah,
have seen that as a vibe across almost every community I've been with. Okay, so it's like I am also a new person, you're also a new person. Let's build together. Okay,
absolutely. Yeah.
right. Okay, okay. With that, let's move ahead to the next question. Okay. Does content help in Web3? But yeah,
Yes.
if you answer like, if content helps, okay, we'll have to focus on what kind of content. Okay, so
Hmm.
basically, is it textual based content or image based content, or now that we have Oculus as a product as well, okay,
Hmm.
is it metaverse or virtual reality based content? What do you want to think, like what are the current factors which are upholding content in Web3?
Hmm. So it's more or less again dependent on the fact of, I mean, on what you're trying to build. So, virtual reality and all of that works well if you're trying to build a metaverse or like a thing close to metaverse. But if I talk about, normal projects in the Web3 space, what kind of content? So when it comes to social media, a lot of video heavy content works good, and because again, people don't have a lot of attention span, so they wouldn't be reading like paragraphs and a lot of lengthy stuff. They want quick information and they want it fast, and they want it in seconds. So you have to have content that is consumable, and that is fast to understand, and is easy to comprehend as well.
Okay,
Yeah. It again
okay,
depends platform to platform. So this is the social media and content. I think in the on the website, if you have like a blog, then if you're looking to organically content market yourself, then the traditional way of writing blogs and focusing keywords that are specific to your project and Web3 in general, because at this stage users just want to be educated as much as they can, and having like a blog where just you explain them the basics of how things work in crypto, and things that as in knowledge that you would want your users to have before they actually get engaged with your product, is something that people will focus on.
so just to clarify, when we are talking about blogs and articles and basically textual based content, keeping social media aside, it's
Yeah.
mostly for uplifting your SEO strategy, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
SEO
Keeping
as well as just not really focusing on it in the sense that you would want your website to have more traffic. It is also to build on the fact that communities, people people haven't learned Web3 formally, as in we didn't have like anybody, a specific person who said that okay, I know the entire Web3, and
I'll
this is
teach you
like
that.
this is like a course curriculum that I'm going to give to you, and just revise all of this, and you're good to go. So there are 100. I mean, I claim that I know 100 things about Web3, but there are 900 things that I don't know, and this
Obviously.
is the case with everybody. So instead of thinking that this is just to push my website or to get more traffic, users that learn with you and grow with you stay more longer than
Mhm.
people who would just come for transactional stuff, and you're also there for transactional stuff.
Right. So see, from SEO, I also mean, see, somewhere people are trying to build a trust in Web3. Okay,
Yeah.
because most of them, like I'll say, 99% of the people are trying to transition now. They're not yet there. Okay,
Hmm.
so the trust factor actually comes, right?
Yeah.
If they can trust the product, the company, the work, or whatever the whole scenario is, right? And
Yeah.
somewhere I feel that SEO is holds a very big, weightage over there, because it helps you in ranking your website at a good place. Okay, it helps
Absolutely.
in basically giving the user that attention, that yes, there is something related to this XYZ project run by this XYZ company, right?
It also builds like authority for your own self. You emerge
Exactly.
like a thought leader out of it, and you're there out there. People trust you that okay, if they're giving us a specific information, this is gonna be true if that's coming from their end. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, with that, let's go ahead with the next question. I guess it's on SEO only, but let's see. Yeah. So, is there a specific strategy, SEO strategy? Like, I have actually come across something new recently, so I'd like to bring that in. But after you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so there's no specific SEO strategy for Web3, but there might be one for your own project. Like everything else follows in marketing, SEO will also be tailored according to your needs. So if you're looking to do some organic stuff and then a combination of paid stuff. So paid stuff, is a little different in Web3, and organic stuff is usually uh, organically you just capitalize on crypto keywords, web3 keywords, and then take backlinks from higher authorities. Like the Binance blog is a fantastic blog to read, and getting backlinks from websites like that is like a very quick way to do it, because there are plenty of PR websites, news publications. You can also have like a PR strategy in place while
Okay,
you
so
have.
give me a simple understanding. Let's say I am a normal ghost writer for XYZ company. How do I get a backlink from Binance blog?
It's very difficult. Binance wouldn't. I mean, you can have internal linking of. I mean, external linking of your blog. So, as in, when you perform SEO on a piece of content that you've written, you also have you do backlinking, and you have like internal linking that's like from your blog. It's taken from like other blogs just to redirect the user to like those blogs and like read more about the stuff you've written. And then there is outbound linking, so you can basically take backlinks from anywhere, and that's like a slow way of doing it. For like backlinks as in people mentioning you, it actually takes like a lot of budget if you were to do for Binance. But then again, if you're like a domain authority website that is between 20 to 40, you could consider getting backlinks from a DA which is 50 or a 60. And then you can make a strategy where you get like at least 10 backlinks a month from such domain authorities, and then gradually you'll have like more traffic coming in, and your even your DA will push.
Right. Okay. That is where I'd like to bring in the idea that I recently came across. Have you heard about Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is this one strategy which he has been using lately. Okay, I don't think it's working for SEO. It's working mostly for content based marketing. Okay, but that is definitely it's basically exploding content in a very distributed manner across various platforms. Okay, what do you
Hmm.
think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you mean repurposing stuff? As in, you
Exactly.
have written something extensive. I mean, you've written a blog. You can take a small snippet and make a video and put it on social media. Write a thread on Twitter from that content. Also, put it on YouTube as a video, a longer video of it. And there are multiple ways of doing it, and this is actually the most smart. I mean, one of the smartest ways that you can save time and effort,
Yeah.
and you can repurpose it. As in, I'm not saying that just blast off with like that content on every social media platform and like everywhere you're present. But maybe you can just get back to it 1 month later and then just do that. And then like, and see, people are like into exploring new ways in marketing. People are doing webinars like we're doing one, and you can repurpose that. If you have like a speaker on board and if that's a tech webinar and it's like coding, you take a part of it and you just bait it. You
Right.
don't give access to the community that easily. You give them as an incentive for doing something. So these are like some of the ways that people are trying to market.
Right, definitely, definitely. That's perfectly great. I guess you've answered this question very, distinctively, and not only this, but we've discussed more on various kinds of strategies as well. Okay, let's move ahead to the next question then. I guess everyone knows it's always around crypto Twitter. Okay,
Yeah.
right. So, is there any other social media platform do you think is best for Web3?
Twitter is by default. LinkedIn is also working well. A lot of crypto people, as in influencers and people who've been in the
Yeah, there is
space.
a trend. People are trying to come to LinkedIn. Okay, uh, but I don't think it's that much. I think not good as
It's
much as it is on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no platform as such that can beat the kind of wave that Twitter is riding on. LinkedIn people are trying very hard to get there, but it's mostly for brand. It's not for brands. It's actually for people who are trying to build a personal brand.
Personal
So
brand, right?
yeah, that's for personal branding in Web3, and LinkedIn is like a good platform. But I think it's not a good strategy for people that are brands, and they're figuring out a social media platform. Reddit is working well.
Reddit and
Hmm.
I think Reddit, Discord, and
Yeah,
Telegram. These are more community based.
community facing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we have answered this, easily because is there something more you feel? Because I've heard there are more platforms like Odyssey, Patreon. Okay. Uh, Others
But
also coming in picture.
unfortunately, people are not very confident in
Okay.
exploring those, and because you wouldn't have like an application which is not all of these social media platforms that we know in your phone handy to probably check stuff out. It's usually like you just stick to the traditional platform that you have in your phone. Otherwise, you'd have to get on your system and probably just do that. But yeah, people in Web3 are crazy enough to do that as well. But I think brands are exploring that, and we should definitely be exploring more platforms, as in
Right.
to
Okay.
see the best fit for ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I guess that answers it well. Do we have any more questions, or shall we move ahead to the community questions? Let's go with the next question then. Okay. How to build partnerships in Web3? I guess that's the perfect question for you.
You talk, you network.
Okay.
I was in that space where I struggled to get partnerships on board, and then that's when I decided to like talk to more and more people and to network and to attend Web3 events, and uh, just just try that conversation, and who knows, you might just end up having like the biggest deal of your life. You just should be talking, I think, and not be hesitant that okay, this is, and always be open to stuff. There might be 100 things that you might want to partner with the other party, and be always open to listening also. So there might be something that they have in mind, so just be open and optimistic about it, and networking and speaking.
Would you want to say how we became, how we
Yeah.
started a partnership? Okay,
Yeah,
how did
similar.
that plan? Would you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I think you just dropped a message to me over LinkedIn. We connected over LinkedIn, and then I think we came across each other's profile and saw that okay, we are both from Web3, and then we started talking on LinkedIn, and then we jumped on a quick call, and that's when we realized okay, there can be synergies between us because I was like open to like exploring like any and every synergy, and so were you, and that's how it happened, and
As much as I know, it happened only within a 1 hour time span.
I
Okay,
think yeah.
right. But somewhere I feel it started off because of some other person's content where we started commenting. Okay,
It
I
was
am not sure
Bitcoin
who
Buy,
was
right?
that. I am
Bitcoin
not
Buy.
sure who.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably.
yeah. Yeah, LinkedIn, yeah.
Correct. Okay. I guess we are almost to the end of community based, like questions that we prepared. I feel there are some questions from the YouTube audience as well. Okay. From what I can see, we have three questions from the YouTube audience. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with the first one. Um, can we have it on the screen? Right. So, how to market B2B and B2C Web3 products? Is there a difference which you think?
So I'll just explain to you how we do it at Unifarm. So our product is both B2B and B2C. B2B
Okay.
part is where we have clients on board and we get their tokens to staking and the farms alive. And then we have the B2C part where we have users. We want to have users that come and stake there because ultimately users will stake and that's where we can get this started. So the B2B side of it is we don't really focus on a lot of B2B side because that's more towards the partnership end. For marketing, of course, the more you brand yourself and the more you position your brand correctly in Web3, as in Web3 stuff is very technical at times, and you the majority of people in Web3, they're not there's not a lot of population of Web3 people, right? And these are mostly Web2 people who are like in the middle of that transition in Web3. So, just positioning yourself well and just saying that message out that, this is what we do and this is who we are, and, the correct branding is what, gets the thing done in B2B, and it's mostly partnership closing. In B2C, there's no correct way to market, but what you can do is you can focus more on, building connections directly with the user. So we at Unifarm, we focus on this fact a lot that, we need to handhold the user. So if there's a person who's just, he's just tweeted that, okay, he has this trouble in doing this, we randomly reach out to that person and we try to help them, whether it is related to our product or not. And
Correct.
customers who have like or users or stakers that have like problems, in general understanding staking and all of that, our team is ready to get on Google Meets with them even at 11 p.m. in the night just to get them done that thing and get started. So just
Correct.
building that one-on-one connection, although it's not possible if you have like a highly scaled product, but if you're just starting out, that's the key of
That's the
an
key.
app.
Right. Okay. Okay. I guess that answers it perfectly well. Okay. We have two more questions to go ahead with. Okay. Let's go ahead to the second last question. Are Web3 websites or dApps SEO friendly? I guess you've already answered that. Okay. Earlier. But would you want to add any points to it?
Yeah, so websites are no different in Web3. They're just just
It's basically
technologically
what I
advanced.
did. The backend changes, right?
Backend changes, yeah. I mean, the coding
Yeah.
languages are different, and you have Rust, you have Solidity, and all of those languages. The backend stuff is technical, and these are like very technological, advanced websites. Nothing changes. SEO is still the same. You still have Search Console and Google Analytics on your website. It's just completely normal. And dApps also, it just I've seen people list dApps on like the Apple Play Store or the Android Play Store that you have, and the keyword optimization, SEO, ASO ranks for the app, they are still the same. Everything works still the same.
Okay, okay. With that, do you think there will be an alternative to Google Analytics or Website Analytics in Web3?
There are already plenty of them. There are plenty of them already there, but I don't think we're there soon. I mean, it cannot replace Google Analytics. I think it will remain for like Web2. Maybe I do hope that there's something coming up that replaces Google Analytics for Web3.
Definitely, definitely. Okay. Let's go ahead to the last question for today. Okay, from the YouTube community. What does Web3 mean for brands? Okay, well, why I like to put this forward, and this is a good question, is because this came up to me today as well, and I guess we discussed this earlier also, that there are they basically there are big brands who are playing monopoly in Web 2. Okay,
Hmm.
let it be in any industry. Okay, but why are these brands then coming towards Web 3? Like, what is the transition? Response. Why are they doing it? Is there a reason, or like what does to keep it simple to the question, what does Web 3 mean for brands? Like right now, Starbucks is there, Nike is there. Okay, even other products are also coming in. Gucci has tried in fashion. Okay, individual fashion, basically companies like Manish Malhotra and all are also trying to enter Web3, right? So what do you think? Why are brands entering Web3 although they had a monopoly in Web2?
Just to ride on the hype. There's nothing more to it, and probably the way technology is just evolving here in Web3. They just want to ride that thing because it's the new hottest thing in the town, and why would you want to miss it? Like there's,
But
I yeah
still the question of decentralization comes in place, right?
yeah
Because these companies are usually centralized, okay,
yeah
with some core authority, core team, or anything, right?
yeah.
But despite being, basically, I'm trying to understand the psychology behind it, okay?
Hmm.
That it was a monopoly, one, they had a centralized system, two, but now that they are transitioning into Web3, what does it mean for them? Is it like they're trying to become decentralized? But if they are, what is the understanding in their context of Web3? Do you have an understanding over there? Would you like to tell us something about that?
Yeah, I don't think these motives of coming to Web3 is because they want to get decentralized and move away from centralization. It is just to explore that Web3 is not just about decentralization, but I think a lot more than that. And just to try that stuff out is what I think these brands are up to. So this
Right.
Polygon and Starbucks association is more of a marketing gimmick, I believe, because they're trying to
Correct.
ride on the fact that Polygon is building in Web3. It's sort of like has that kind of authority in Web3. So I think it's that, and also the possibility of exploring technological stuff together. So the use case of Starbucks and Polygon coming together is actually like more on the technical side of things, right?
Correct.
And that's what they want to do. So I think these brands, these fashion brands coming in on metaverse is just to explore that technology and maybe just get on the marketing side of things. I
Okay.
think, yeah.
Okay. I guess we have had a very detailed conversation throughout the past hour, okay, on marketing in Web3, how brands are doing it, okay. We started off on a scale while understanding what is partnerships, business development, what has been your journey, how did you end up in Unifarm, okay. Then we went ahead with, understanding what are different metrics to understand marketing in Web3, okay. And we spoke about SEO, we spoke about content, okay. We even spoke about like the last part, basically how brands are also trying to jump across the hype, right? So what do you think about how has been your journey throughout this past hour, and how what is your experience in working with us? Because see, we are already working in partnership, but what do you think about this particular ambience of masterclass, and how we are planning to go ahead? What is your experience in total with
Yeah,
Recurrent?
this has been an absolute delight to be here. This is actually one of my first external events. I've always had, AMAs and, conclaves inside of Unifarm with, partners and CEOs of those projects. So this is actually like the first time I'm ever interacting like on a session like this. So this has been good. The experience has been good, and with Recorum, I think I just like we mentioned that it just got cracked in an hour's time, and since then you guys have been so helpful for us to also hire people, and
Right.
yeah, we're just happy to have you as partners. Then we wish to have like a long partnership going ahead.
Right, definite, definite. And with that, Shreya, any basically closing statement for people who are wanting to enter marketing Web3? Any closing statements for them?
Yeah, there's absolutely no set pathway to enter into Web3, but if this interests you a slightest bit, please jump on the bandwagon. We are still very early in Web3, and there is a lot to happen in the future. So don't miss the chance and opportunity to be here at the moment and witness what all is happening. You just get on the bandwagon. There will be somebody to help you out.
Definitely, definitely. You know, with that, Shreya, thank you for joining us today. Okay, it was amazing hosting you. Okay, interacting with you, sharing knowledge on a mutual level. Okay, thank you for joining us today. That's all from my side. As for today's particular masterclass, because somewhere I have also tried to rekindle the thoughts on marketing of how we do it, or let it be any other company who does it. Okay,
Yeah.
but yes, thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me here. This has been a lovely conversation, and you've been a lovely host. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Shreya.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we're almost at the end of the session. Okay, uh, I sincerely thank Shreya as well as Unifarm and the team who has been a wonderful basically speaker and guest today, and we've definitely learned a lot. There's a lot to take back from today's masterclass, because somewhere I feel I have also learned a lot in regards to marketing going ahead, and how to basically place the brand and get in customers, user retention, all of that. Okay, uh, as much as I understand, it has been a smooth and pleasant experience interacting with you know Shreya today, and I'm sure all of us had a fun and enlightening conversation and experience for today's masterclass. I'd like to acknowledge our partners and sponsors for today. And adding on to that, I'd like to remind all of you again that we have 80 plus companies offering various opportunities on events that are hosted by Recurum only. Okay, and if you want to avail them, these are basically remote opportunities, internships, and even full-time opportunities. So if you want to avail them, log on to the Recurum website. Okay, go through the whole event, learn, network, and find opportunities. With that, we come to the last segment, which is I'd like to remind you again that this you can take a unique memory from today's event, and that is available to you in the form of an NFT. So NFT minted certificates can be available to you. You just need to connect your wallet while you log in to Recurum, and that is all from my side for today. I hope I have been a fruitful host to you in the past 10 11 masterclasses, and we look forward to hosting you more in relation to Web3, bringing in more speakers. And I'd like to also acknowledge you people, where we think you have been a great audience to us always, and we're open to more speakers and initiatives in working with more guests coming on board as hosts to talk about various topics. So if you have someone, you can just let us know through any of our handles. Okay, all of them have been mentioned below. Looking forward to work with more speakers and bringing you more knowledge and fun conversations. Thank you. Have a great time.